So let's get the actual items from our activity main here, this enter guess here, right? So we're assuming that we want the user to enter something so we can fetch that and then send out. To do that, obviously, we're going to come up here and I'm going to say private because we need to fetch that edit text, right? Now, notice it's edit text again because it is indeed an edit text, right? You see, edit text there. I know visually speaking, when we come down here, it just says plain text, but all of these guys are edit text. So anything that is a field that allows us to get the users to enter something, it is indeed an edit text, right? Hence, you can see edit text type. Okay. Enter guess, we'll call that. And then here, I'm going to say enter guess, find by ID, r.id.enter. What did I call? Guess field. There we go. Very good. So now we have our enter guess and it's looking really good. And we need to extract something from our enter guess. In this case, we need to extract the text. Well, there is a method for that. So inside of our own click here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say string, because I know it's going to be a string that I'm going to be getting, text in this case. I'm going to say guess is equal to enter guess dot get text .toString.trim. Now, what's going on here? There's a lot of things happening here, but easily what I'm doing, I'm using our enter guess, and I'm going to say get text, and I'm making it toString, because sometimes it could be other characters, even though we know that the get text will always retrieve a string, but I always like to put it to string, and then so I can call the trim. The trim is just a convenient method that we can call on any string, in a sense, on any edit text, so that we can extract all the extra junk in the spaces and everything, right? So we just get the actual text. So that's very handy there. That's all we're doing. So now our guess should have whatever users have entered. Okay, so now we have this guess here. It's time for us to move on. So I can take this information here and pass it all in, right? So I can keep the key as it is, and I'm just going to change this to actually say the value I'm going to pass is going to be guess. Look at that. So now save this. I'm going to go ahead and run. Okay, so I'm going to enter something. I'm going to say cars. Go, and it says cars here. Let's make this a little bit bigger because I think it's too small. Go back to our activity show, and I'm going to say text size. Instead of 14, I'm going to say 24. A little bit exaggerated. Nevertheless, it should hopefully help us see bigger. There we go, cars. If I go back here and I say cars, like such, go, look at that. Now we're able to get the exact information that we want onto the next screen. Very cool, right? Can get rid of all of that and say Gina. Go next, and there it is, Gina. That's it. So this is great. It's working as intended. Now, the other thing that we need to understand here is that users cannot be trusted. Yes, I said that out loud. Not in a malicious way, although sometimes it can be malicious. Users can be trusted. What I mean by that is that we can never trust that users will actually always enter something whenever we ask them to enter something, because it happens, right? So what happens if I just come here and go back and there's nothing in there, and I come down here and say like that, okay? It worked fine, but now everything is empty and nothing is showing, right? Because at this point here, we did not enter anything, but still were able to go to the next screen. So we could actually put an if statement here. We can say if indeed guess, right, that is empty. In this case, I want to make sure that it's not empty. Then that's when this is going to actually be able to be called, right? Else, I can go ahead and say toast.make main.activity.this, because we need that, and I'm going to say enter guess. Okay, I'm going to say toast short, and don't forget to show. So now we're a little bit protected. So if this is indeed not empty, meaning that we actually have something that we get from our guess here, then we are going to proceed. Otherwise, you're just going to see this, right? So now if I run this again, hopefully we should be able to see that. So click, enter guess. So I have to enter a guess. Let's say it's a cavallo. A horse. There we go. There is a cavallo, a horse in Portuguese. All right, there we go. So this is now working as intended. Hello, or whatever that is. Hey there. Hey there. It's working perfectly. All right, so there we go. Very good. So now we have added the awesome functionality. Now, the other thing we are able to do here is the following. You see this intent that put extra, we just added one thing only. But what prevents us from putting more things? Yes, we can put as many extras as we want. In fact, I can come here and say intent dot put, let's say James. Yes, it's me. I always use the same names. I'm going to say bond. In fact, let's just say name. Okay, bond like that. I can say intent that put extra, and I'm going to say age. Now look at what I'm going to do here. Okay, age. I'm going to put it something like this, 34. Right? Because we know that put extra is an overloaded function, meaning we can pass all different types, right? We can also pass an integer, but guess what? How do we then retrieve this item here, integer, or anything else that we've added? Okay, let's go back to show guess here. In this case here, I said get intent, and we got the extra guess, which we then pass into our text view, and all is well. In fact, save it again. We'll see that everything is good. I can go, it still works. Even though that only shows hey there, this get intent here still has all of the other stuff. In fact, I can come down here and say, for instance, log D, like that. Okay, I'm going to say stuff for the lack of a better word, and I can pass here something else. I'm going to go ahead and pass get intent dot get string or extra string, and I think it was name for bond. Let's see what's going to happen. Save and run. I'm going to go ahead and open my logcat here. It's a debug, and I call this stuff just so that I have everything showing here. Let's go ahead and say la, and voila. You can see we have the lal there is showing, but also we have stuff bond showing. Right? So like I said, we were able to even retrieve other things that we've added to our intent. That's wonderful. So that also works. And the other way you can do this, because remember intent, because we're adding a lot of sort of things here, right? Intent, we can add hundreds, thousands of other extra bits of information along with our intent. Now, in this case here, what we did, we just went straight and say get intent, get extra, and we did all that stuff, right? So every time we want to get something, we just call get intent and so forth. That is totally fine. But there's also another method to do this. We can put everything into a bundle. What is a bundle? Well, a bundle is a very, let's say, complicated class, but think of a bundle as the name implies, a class that allows us to put all sort of things inside of it, right? So if I want to create a bundle so that I can put everything in one place, so then I can just call that bundle, if you will, that type, and then start extracting whatever it's inside, I can do so. I can come here and say bundle. Look, it's a bundle, it's a class from the Android OS. I'm going to say extra, just give a name, right? And I'm going to say get intent dot, look at that. Now I can say get bundle extra or get bundle extras as everything inside of this intent. So we can get the extra as we did before, right? So just get a string, just one thing at a time. Or we can get the bundle extra, again, one string at a time. So if we put an object actually there, right? But we can just get extra, just get everything that comes with our get intent, right? That way, this extra type, this bundle here, will have what? Well, we'll have all this stuff that we put in our extra intent here. You see? That's another way to do that. So we can just put everything in one place. So then we can use this extra here. Now we can come here and say the following, right? Let me comment this out. Now we can do something like this. If extra is not equal to null, just like we did before, then I can do all the code here. I can get stuffs. In fact, I can come down here, do the same thing we did before. Let me just copy all of this, right? Put it all there, like this. I can leave as it is, but why going all through this process if I can just say extra dot get string and pass in the key? Look at that. Now with the bundle, it says here we can pass the key. Same thing we did before, but now it's a little bit better because we have put everything into a bundle, so it's easier to access, right? I pass the key, there we go. If I want to get something else, I can say, for instance, log d, enter, and I can pass, if I want to, the extra dot get another string. The key was name, I believe. We need to pass something here. Name extra, right? I'm going to copy this and do the same for the other, extra 2. This is going to be the integer, so I can pass in, I think it was age. But notice the problem here. We say get string. However, the age, it's not a string. Is what? Yes, it's an integer. How do we do that? Well, funny you ask, we do have the get int. I like that. So it turns out the types, like we always said, is very important as well, even when we start to extract things. Now, what do you suppose would have happened if we added a boolean extra here? The moment we want to get it out, we have to say get boolean. In fact, there is a method, get boolean. Look at that. You see? And there it is. So either way, it works, but I like using sometimes this bundle unless I only have one item that I'm getting from my get intent. I like to do this because now I'm just able to use just this extra bundle here and start accessing things that I want, considering that I have all sort of things inside of our put extra method here. All right, so let's save this for completion and give it a run so that we can actually see what it will show. There we go. I'm going to just say Georgina. Click, and this says stuff. I don't want that. Let's get rid of all of that. And we call this name extra. Let's see, debug name extras. There we go. So now it's showing bond and 34 because we logged all of those items out here. And still, we're going to be able to see Georgina there. All right. That's great. I hope this made sense. And you can start thinking of things you can do, applications you can build, small applications, of course, that you can build that do this connection between A and B, right? Taking things from activity A and passing them to activity B. All right, I'll see you next.